Hey guys, so in today's video, I kind of wanted to share with you a little bit of an interaction that I had with my mother earlier this week. Um, so for those of you who don't know, I am a week and a day post-op VSG or gastric sleeve surgery. And before surgery, like before I had even started the pre-op diet and all of that stuff, I had told my mother that, my plan was to have weight loss surgery. I just didn't have a date at that time yet. I think I had like one or two other appointments that I needed to complete before they would be able to schedule me for surgery. And so as soon as I knew my surgery date, I let my mother know. Well, she was kind of against it from the get-go. She had said some other things to me, and we were kind of talking about different things. And like, there's a whole lot of reasons why I chose to have this surgery. And if you want more information about why I chose to have the gastric sleeve specifically, I do plan on making a video giving you guys more information about my reasonings behind everything. But I don't think that that's necessarily what I want to talk about in this video. I was talking to my mom and she said, if you can follow a pre-op diet, then you should be able to lose weight on your own. And, I had talked to her about PCOS and the insulin resistance and everything that was going on in my body. And I give a lot of kudos to my mom for kind of speaking up and letting it be known how she felt about things, but it didn't really help me emotionally when I was already trying to go through and deal with like this whole big change. And I'm not saying anything bad about my mother in this video, but I just kind of wanted to share the experience that I had between myself and my mother. Um, after I had surgery, as well as a couple of things that she said prior to me going into surgery. So she was really scared that I wouldn't be able to stick to the pre-op diet and that I would be disappointed or regret having the surgery because of things that I wouldn't be able to eat afterwards. Now, I will tell you, some of my biggest issues has been snacking. I have always had a sweet tooth. I love potato chips. I love crackers. I love bread. I love tacos. I love pizza. I love pasta. And like every time I go down to my mother's for some sort of special occasion, she always asks me if there's something that she wants me or that I want her to make for a meal while I'm staying at her house or visiting or whatever. And my answer is almost always her spaghetti salad, which she makes like a pasta salad with cucumbers and peppers and Italian dressing and cheese and ham. And it's just really, really good. So obviously right now I can't have any of that stuff because right now I'm still on the post-op liquid diet, but eventually I may be able to have small portions of it. I'm not going to allow myself to be tempted by things like that right now. Like my godmother and her sisters, they had ordered pizza the other day, and so I chose to eat at 4 p.m. and come back home just so that I didn't have to be around the pizza smell because I love pizza. And I didn't know that I would be able to handle being around that smell. Like that's a lot to deal with when you're still in your first week post-surgery. Um, so my mom was worried that I would revert kind of back to my old eating habits and not be able to handle the requirements of the post-op diet and like changing everything. And she said that I was going to be disappointed or regret having the surgery because I couldn't have the foods that I liked anymore. And, I had a good conversation, a long conversation with her about the fact that, if I have to sacrifice certain things like that in order to live a healthier life, in order to be able to do things like to be more active, I'm fine with it. I feel like doing this post-op diet as well as the pre-op diet, I am very proud of myself for the efforts that I have made and the lengths that I have gone to make this surgery work for me. It has been very, very difficult. Even on the pre-op diet, like my godmother and her sisters were having burgers and things like that. I had a small burger a couple times, I think twice on my pre-op diet, I had a small burger with a slice of cheese, a little tiny little swirl of mustard and ketchup, no bread, and that was my dinner. Because that was basically my calorie limit for dinner was that burger with a slice of cheese and some ketchup and mustard on it. Um, so other than that, my mom had said something to me about like she was really struggling with the fact that I was going to have weight loss. She had told me about a dream that she had, and I will tell you about the dream in a minute. But then she said something to me that kind of struck me a little. She had mentioned that that's how she shows her love to me is through food and like making food for me. And looking back on my childhood, like I have always had food around. Like every special occasion, my grandma always would make this huge spread. We'd have like mashed potatoes and gravy and taco salad and like all these other things. And nobody ever really would say anything to me if I went back for seconds or thirds. And, I've always kind of been a little bit overweight. But obviously, in my adult years, I continued to make poor dietary choices, and that is how I ended up this way. My mom blames herself for me getting to the point where I needed weight loss surgery to help me lose weight because she says in her dream she said this was like either the day after surgery or 2 days after I had my surgery. She had told me that I came to her in the form of me as a child, but with the voice that I have now. And she said that I pointed my finger at her and I told her not to give me any more Little Debbies because it was her fault. And like, my mom did give me Little Debbies like every year when I didn't live in Michigan. She would give me like the little Christmas tree Little Debbies. She would make a little Christmas like gift box and would send little goodies and things like that because those are the things that we always got like in our stockings for Christmas. And so she would send those and like, I don't know, it was very hard to hear that my mother blamed herself for me needing weight loss surgery because I told her specifically, I said, you cannot blame yourself for me needing weight loss surgery. And she said, yes, I can. And I said, well, okay, in 4 years, I will be 40. So we're talking about at least half of my life I've been an adult. And I continued to make those choices even when I knew that I should be doing better. So if there's anybody to blame for me getting to this point, it is me. Did they possibly choose to do not the most positive things or encourage me to make the most positive choices food-wise as a child? Maybe. But again, I've been an adult for more than half of my life at this point, and like I said, I continued to make these poor dietary choices, and I'm just glad that now my mom is seeing me be successful so far with this surgery and seeing the weight come off and seeing how excited I am. I text her every morning after I weigh in and tell her how much my weight was. And she has been one of my biggest cheerleaders other than my godmother and her sisters. Like I just wish that people could understand that it's not always something that somebody needs to be blamed for. PCOS makes weight loss very, very difficult. And I don't think that you should blame yourself. I don't think that you should, be blaming other people. I think that a lot of weight loss surgery, especially the mental work afterwards, you have to become accountable for your own decisions. And if you're going to be successful with this type of surgery, you need that accountability because it's not easy. It is not easy at all. There were a couple days this week, I had surgery on Monday of last week. There were a couple of days towards the end of that week where my godmother's sisters, their nephew was staying at the cabin. So they came here and they had their meals here, and smelling some of the food, I was like, I could really go for a hot dog right now. And I didn't feel hungry, but that head hunger and that food noise gets into your brain, and it's like your mind goes all sorts of different places. So you definitely have to be willing to work on the mental thing. And I think that Like, my mom doesn't really understand because she hasn't really ever been overweight like I have. She hasn't seen, how my weight affects different things. She hasn't seen, I mean, yes, she's watched shows like My 600 Pound Life and things like that, but she hasn't seen how it's actually affecting my life. And I hate being limited by my weight. And so that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to get this surgery, is because I wanted every tool available to me so that I could make it happen where I can go hiking, I can go kayaking for longer than an hour, or two. I could go hiking for a mile, and, I could go jogging, I could run. Not that I am a runner, but if I wanted to, I could. And, those are the reasons, or some of the reasons at least, why I wanted to or felt like I needed surgery to begin with. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to share that with you and kind of see if anybody else who is either contemplating weight loss surgery or has had weight loss surgery has had a similar experience. It was a little bit frustrating because I don't like that my mother is blaming herself for choices that I've made, like I said. But anyways, I guess that's it for today's video. Let me know if you have experienced things like this, or, if you have blamed yourself for a relative or sibling or one of your children feeling the same way, or needing weight loss surgery, I guess I should say. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments, any topics you'd like me to talk a little bit more about on my channel. I'd be glad to help, and I will talk to you guys next time.